Hello everybody, it's the Alco Diesel Guy with my own Will It Run video. Short story and a long story, I guess, at the same time for this locomotive is much like a few other items I've picked up. I recently made a trip up to Lake George, which is a couple hours away from where I am, and with my folks, made a stop in Saratoga and met up with a gentleman that I had met at one of the train shows I attended last year, and bought a few non-running engines from him because he had them and he wanted to sell them off. This is one of them. It's a p42 DC built by Kato. I've gotten quite a few of these more recently as I learned how to work with them better and install DCC on them, etc. This particular unit is interesting because, again, like I mentioned, it is a non-runner. It is not supposed to function. So what I'm going to do tonight is see exactly what's wrong with it, if there's anything wrong with it, and if I can get it going. So, what I've got here is I've got this track set up to a DCC system. I don't know if this has DCC on board. A lot of times I find when they're not working, it has to do with a DCC decoder. I was, in truth, going to actually hook up a analog power pack, but I figured, hey, I've got this here, might as well just work with what I have. So I'm going to set this up right now for it. I've got my DCS 50 over here. Set this for locomotive 77. What I'm going to do now is put her on the track. Little tip here. If one of these engines that is not DCC equipped is placed on a DCC track, it will make all kinds of crazy sounds. So if I put this thing down and we hear noises, we know it is an analog engine. If I don't hear anything, that means it might be DCC. So here we go. And I don't hear anything, so that's a good sign. Power is on. Let me just recycle it once. Nope, power's on. So let us go and see if it will actually do something. I've already set my power pack up over here on the side. It's over to the side of my workbench so you can't see it. Let's try powering her up. Let me zoom you out a little bit so you get a better shot of this. Turn my throttle up. Ooh, okay. Now that I wasn't expecting. This was supposed to have been a non-runner. And it's, in fact, DCC equipped. That is kind of insane. Okay, no light for the reverse. That's interesting. Oh, it's not backing up. Oh, okay. Whoa, what's going on here? Okay, now I got a light. Let's go backwards. Let's go forward. Okay, that's kind of nuts. So this is, in fact, a DCC-equipped locomotive that was listed as a non-runner. So it's going to be a pretty short video. Let me take a look underneath the hood and see exactly what was done here. Curiosity killed the cat, but I'm just curious as to what's underneath the hood. I'm also curious how well this is done. A lot of times you get these and the lights don't work too well, but this is actually exceptionally well done. Yeah, the front truck isn't perfect with picking up power. That's typical with these. So it looks like there is a minor problem with pickup on the front truck here. When I put the rear down, it works, but the front itself doesn't really do all that well. So let me take it apart at least and see what's going on inside it. Going to carefully spread the frame and take her shell off. Again, this is already going very well. And, ooh, well, this is not exactly what I was expecting to find. What we have here is a custom DCC install. Let me take you in a little bit further here. Let's go ×1 this time. Yeah, ×2 actually. Let me take you ×1 in here. Yeah, and what I essentially have is a very elaborate custom DCC install here. This is a micro type DCC decoder that has been wired in. Wow. The contact lines are still in place, but they've been wired in by hand. They've been insulated very well. This is a very nice install. I say it blows the doors off of anything I've ever done. It has a stock board in place here. As we see, they just used this, whoever this was did the standard board with it. And I have to say, I'm impressed. It's an earlier install. It's an older locomotive because, again, this has the earlier phase on it. I should mention, this is definitely an earlier type engine because it has the earlier paint scheme and everything else. It's got some scratches on it, but other than that, I mean, wow. So essentially what I've gotten here is an excellent deal on an excellent locomotive. Just make sure that stays in position like it should. I'm kind of speechless, to be honest. This is crazy. Put the top back on here. And just test it one more time. Don't ask me what possessed me to use a DCC system to test this, but something told me that this might just have a DCC decoder on it. That might be why this didn't work when it was tested by the previous owner before it was sold to the person I bought it from. Because if you put one of these type converted locomotives on the track and you have analog power on, some decoders simply won't function. They'll say point blank, nope, not doing it for you, sorry. And that's what I think happened. But yeah, so this is probably one of the shortest videos I've ever done here, but I'm pretty much finished because this engine runs. It runs beautifully. It's got a great install. I'm going to leave it just like it is and basically leave well enough alone. So I hope everyone enjoyed watching this rather short video, to put it mildly. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in storage, maybe run it in a couple of days. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. Please like and subscribe, and as always, keep the metal side down. Hello everybody, it's the Alco Diesel Guy with another Will It Run video. Again, this is another one of the locomotives I acquired during my trip to Lake George. Again, I made a little bit of a side stop over in Saratoga and picked this up from the same guy. This engine, just like the P42, which I just completed the actual video on a few minutes ago, cost me $30. It was listed as a non-runner, and this is a GP35. It has a very unique Northeastern paint scheme, Housatonic. One of the more local railroads up in this area. It's got a little dust in this. Again, the problem with this one, as you can see, there was no cover on this particular case. This is an Atlas locomotive, unlike the previous one. And again, I did not pay that much. This is $30. I can list it as a non-runner. So what I'm going to do with this one is like I did with the previous one. Place this on my DCC track and see what it does. It does have a number on it. I don't know if this is DCC equipped. These units are a bit of a hit or miss. Some of them are DCC ready, some of them aren't. It is also possible that this was converted too, because I think this came from the same lot. So let's see what happens. Now, as we've seen, I've placed this particular locomotive on the track, and it doesn't make any noise, which is a good sign. This means that it has a DCC decoder. An analog locomotive without a DCC decoder will make all kinds of racket, because analog engines really don't dig the AC power coming from a DCC system. So, let me go punch in the number on this with my DCS50, which I have sitting off to the left over here. Number 3601. Let's see what happens here. 3, Loco 36. I haven't used this in so long. 01, Loco again. Is that 3601 or is it 38? No, 36. My eyes are getting bad. Oh, boy. Okay, so let's see what happens here. I got the number punched in. See if we get headlights. Put the headlight on. Oh, the rear headlight works. Okay, let's go forward. Forward works as well. Okay. So I think I know why this didn't work again. Let's gently grab the throttle and gently boost her up to power. Okay, that's not looking too good. Well, I couldn't have gotten that lucky. Let's now go forward and see what happens. Oh, it's not even lit up anymore. Ooh, that's not good. Almost like the decoder cut out because of overvoltage. Stopped again. Oh, it might just need to... Let me try a technique here. If I can get... sometimes what happens with the brushes, if they haven't been spun in a while, they'll get corroded. And I'm almost thinking that's what happened here. So let me try the whole technique and just hold it in place and let the wheels spool up. Okay, that works. It's spun over a few times. Let's see if it responds now. There we go. Forward. Shift to reverse. This has been set up. It either has the low speed motor. I should point out that this is an Atlas Classic, and like many other Atlas locomotives from N scale, there were two motor options. One was the high speed motor. The other was the low speed motor to sort of simulate drags. Atlas equipped some of these engines from the factory like that. There are people who, in retrospect, have basically taken these engines and changed them out. And look at that, there it goes. So a little bit of a hesitation initially, but doesn't move particularly fast, but I think that's the programming. Let's go forward again. I'm just curious, how clean are the wheels on this thing? A little cruddy. Actually, not too bad. This looks almost like it's factory on the wheels. It looks like this didn't see much in the way of mileage, from what I can tell here. Wheels themselves, they have the coating worn off, but they really don't look dirty per se. But yeah, here's another there's another running engine for you. So I'm batting 1,000 here. That's the second engine that works. There is one little detail I want to take care of. There's some dust right here. So let me go get a micro brush and actually knock some of this out. Be right back. Okay, I'm going to see if I can make do with this brush and just be very careful in here. It's going to clean the dust out. It's kind of ridiculous that this didn't have that cover on the top, but yep. Looks like, I'm not sure if this is actually dust or what on here because I can't get it out. I get real careful in there and just brush all this out. Brush, 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 brush. That is just nuts that this thing is in perfect working order, practically. The only thing it needs is a good dusting. I'm going to just gently go over this because I can't stand to put it away with that much dust after I've been working on it. So I go over here and see exactly what we got on this. And just like that, I got another runner. So I'm going to put this back into storage. I'll try to find a top for this case. And I'm going to enjoy yet another running locomotive. Doesn't look like it needs any kind of lubrication. It looks like it's in really good shape. I'm going to just leave it as that. So I'm batting 1,000 here. Put this back in place. What I guess I could do is maybe lubricate the trucks on this. Though even then, it doesn't sound like it needs it. So I think I'm just going to leave it alone and just be happy with what it is. So I'm going to call that one good. Just carefully put this back in place. It should be like this right here, I believe. There it goes, and it's in place. And that'll do it. So that's going to do, and then speaking of that'll do it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. Please like and subscribe. And as always, keep the metal side down.